Alright, hey guys, this is Royal Slice Gaming, and we're back with another Pokemon challenge. And Bryce's run with the cricket looked extremely rough, and so today's challenge is going to be a real fun one. I'm trying to see if I can beat Fire Red with Brock's team. For this team, I'm basing it on his Crystal team for the refight, and it is mainly consisting of just the main presets of every rock type that he has. The only difference is, since I picked up the fossil for Kabutops, I decided to get the old Amber instead of going for the other fossil for Almanite. So instead of Almastar, we'll have an Aerodactyl. For the first rival fight, it goes pretty much like every rival fight does. Luckily, we're resistant to normal type moves, and the only thing Squirtle has is Tackle and Growl, so we beat him with no issue. We start grinding a little bit more and get up to a high enough level and try the refight. We have Rock Throw at this time, and it pretty much kills his team. I missed it a few times against the Squirtle, but ultimately we get the victory and we get to level 12. After this fight, though, I get up a little bit higher level, and then we get to Brock. And Brock, I learned Magnitude, and Magnitude pretty much wins me the majority of these new games. It pretty much one-shots his entire team because everything's weak to ground. And then in the next fight with our rival, it comes in pretty clutch. I was trying to save my evolution to a Graveler until after level 31, because if I was level 31, then I would get Earthquake. So on the route up to get the SS and ticket, I accidentally didn't hit B, and so I evolved him too early. So now we have Graveler. But yeah, we get the SS and ticket, and then we move on to Misty. Luckily, I still have Magnitude. Earthquake would have been a whole lot better to have now, but we've got Mega Punch and Magnitude. The first fight I lose just because Water Pulse just one-shots me, even though I have Sturdy, which I don't understand that. But the next fight, I grind up to at least level 36 just to have enough HP to resist one Water Pulse. And after that, we had another rival fight, and this rival fight goes just as well as every other rival fight. I teach our Graveler Rock Tomb, and so Magnitude and Rock Tomb, along with Mega Punch, I get rid of Mega Punch later on just because of its accuracy issue. But for the most part, it does really well. Those two moves. There we go. For the Lieutenant Surge fight, we resist electric moves, so it's a clean sweep with Magnitude. I got really good luck with Magnitude, with having high magnitudes. I haven't really ran into like a Magnitude 5 or 4. I mainly have a 6 or a 7. But after we beat Lieutenant Surge, we can go to the Rock Tunnel, and in the Rock Tunnel we can catch our next team member, a Onix. And then, as I was also in the Rock Tunnel, walking through it, I ran into a shiny encounter. We ran into a shiny Mankey. So I decided just to catch this Mankey and take him with us. You know, I can't use him, but, you know, he's there. Next fight is with Erica, and we have Earthquake now. We level up to level 45 with the guy. We're an Earthquake and pretty much sweep the rest of the game with Earthquake, not going to lie. It does surprisingly well. After this, we have our first Giovanni fight, and I just switch to the guy and just keep Earthquaking everything. And Kangaskhan was a little bit of an issue later on, just because of its defense. But Earthquake is 100-100, so it's whatever. Next is the Pokemon Tower in the rival fight here. I try to use Onix more in this fight than usual, just to get him some levels, but in this fight, in this run, Onix wasn't too great of a Pokemon to take with us, just because he wasn't as strong as Graveler. Given they're pretty close to the same level, but even so, that's what happens. But we beat him in not too fast, or not too short of a time, I should say. After this, we go and catch our next Pokemon, a Rhyhorn, which we inevitably evolve into a Rhydon, and that Pokemon carries us with the Graveler through the rest of the game. Next fight after we catch the Rhyhorn is a Koga fight, which is poison, so most of the time the coughings and wheezings aren't have levitate, so they can't be hit with earthquake, but the butt can be hit with earthquake. So that's the only issue I had with this fight, was using was the wheezing and the coughing. Usually they would just explode, but the wheezing, or not, yeah, the wheezing, sorry, I get my Pokemon confused. It took a little bit of time to beat, but you know, ultimately we still win with Rock Tomb. Oh, that's right, I taught him Brick Break just because it had the same power as Mega Punch, just a whole lot better accuracy. Well, with a few Rock Tombs and him spamming Hyper Potions, we get the victory on this. Later on, I'll get rid of, I think I either get rid of Brick Breaker or Defense Curl for Flamethrower. After we beat, phew. I just woke up, so I'm yawning. Sorry about that. The next fight we have is with our next rival fight before the second Giovanni encounter, and it goes, you know, just as well as you think. We're pretty high level, mainly because our Graveler is the only thing that we've been using for the most of the game. Later on, I try to not use him as much unless I really need to, but some fights have to be done by Graveler just because he's the only one that has Earthquake. So after the rival fight, we go up against Giovanni, and it's just the same. Anything he has is either weak to ground, like the Nidorino is poison, so it's weak to ground, or it's a rock type, and it's also weak to ground. So it goes pretty well. After this fight, we go to, let's see, I think it's the Psychic Gym? Yeah, after this fight we go fight Sabrina, but I mainly just try to dig through the Kangaskhan, and you can actually see in this fight where, where Onyx wasn't pulling his weight. Given if I had like a stronger move, it might be other, but we go up against Sabrina, and led with Rhyhorn just so I could get some more levels on Rhyhorn. But I just, you know, he died, so we just switched out to Graveler and just started Earthquaking everything. His Psychic did a lot, but, you know, Earthquake just does too much. After this, we go up against Blaine. Blaine was another really easy fight. Oh, before Blaine, I just realized after seeing Aerodactyl, before Blaine, we revived our 2 fossils in order to fill out the rest of our team with Aerodactyl and Kabuto, and then Kabuto eventually evolves into a Kabuto, or Kabutops. So that gives us a good water rock and a good flying rock type for our team, and that's pretty much the rest of the team throughout the entire playthrough. So after Blaine, and before the final gym leader Giovanni fight, I spent some time and grinded up everybody to a higher level. This is just after this Blaine fight, just because I felt as they needed to be equal level to at least Graveler. It would just be easier to do it here than it would be to do it, you know, after the fight. And I would need some, I could use the extra oomph against Giovanni. So yeah, Blaine went down not too bad at all. This is just Kabutops evolving, and then we go up against Giovanni. Giovanni's just as easy. I have Ice Beam and Thunderbolt on Rhydon at this time, so for the most part I just freeze stuff. I get really good frozen luck in this game, in this run. So after the fight we get Earthquake, and I teach that to Rhydon just because Rhydon and Geodude are probably my 2 biggest hitters in this entire game. The Kabutops does really well as well. Before the next fight, we have the rival fight before the Elite Four, and it, you know, goes just as well as you would think. Blastoise isn't too bad of an issue now, since we have Kabutops that has Giga Drain. So, the only downside about this fight is I missed Fly 4 times in a row, which made me want to throw my keyboard and my controller through my monitor because Aerodactyl pissed me off. But we made it through the fight all the same. And then after this fight, we go all the way up to the Victory Road and make it to the Elite Four. And then that's when the run doesn't really get more challenging. It's when you kind of like see, I realized that there's a lot of Pokemon weak to ground and Rock type in Gen 1. I never paid much attention. But the only issue with the first one is against Lorelei with her half water, half ice types. The only issue is, since they're half water, it took a little bit of time. I on the road, on the blah, 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 blah. On the way up through Victory Road, I got everybody to at least the mid to late 60s, just because I figured I would need it, especially to beat Lorelei, just because of how hard they hit. But she's technically a ice type, but has more waters than ice type, so it's fine. So we just mainly just Giga Drain and eventually have to Earthquake I think we have to Earthquake the Lapras. Yeah, I'll check out the Shiny Mankey for the Elite Four since this is technically the very end of the game. So, but after this fight, we go up against Bruno. And Bruno's nothing to shy about. We have Aerodactyl with Fly, so I mainly just use Fly. Except for against the Onyxes, they weren't too much of a pushover either because it's an Onyx. So, but this Lapras took forever. Okay, the Onyxes, really, I just use Surf. Get through the Onyxes, and then I would switch to Aerodactyl and just fly through his rest of his fighting types. I probably could have done all the Elite Four fights at just probably a little bit lower level, maybe just the 60s. I just wanted to be sure I could kill everything the first time. And I thought I needed, especially in the fight, because they do a lot of damage. Next is Agatha. Agatha's quote-unquote ghost types is mainly just she likes purple, and so her Pokemon are purple. You would think, if I used my brain, that I would just, use Earthquake, but I didn't. But most of her purple Pokemon are poison, so they are weak to ground type. Except for the Golbat, because it's a flag type, so I can't use ground type on it. Anyway. But for the entire fight, except for against the Arbok, I didn't even use Earthquake. I didn't even think about it. But, it's fine. Yeah, and then instead of using Dream Eater, use Nightmare, and then Nightmare hits hard. But it's not too bad. But we beat Agatha, and now we move on to the final Elite Four member, the Dragon Trainer Lance. It goes really well, mainly because I have a Rhydon who has Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. Ice Beam is quad effective against his Dragonairs and Dragonite. So, but we still die anyways. But I have Fly, and he's confused, so it wasn't too bad of an issue. He didn't really heal that often either. But yeah, two good Steel Wings against his Aerodactyl, and we beat the Elite Four. Now for the final rival fight. Oh yeah, by the way, I named my rival Misty just because I thought it was fitting to have a rival named Misty with a Blastoise. But anyways, goes just as well as you would think. It goes as well as all the other runs that we did against our rival. Mainly just Earthquaking everything. The guy dies because Rhydon's crazy powerful, but we kill him with our Rhydon. Next is Blastoise. The only issue I had with this fight now is he's got Hydro Pump, and Hydro Pump hurts, but it wasn't too bad. I missed the first Toxic, so that kind of is a little sad, but he just keeps spamming Hydro Pump, and then we inevitably beat him. And then Executor doesn't go, have Fly, so if I could just hit a Fly, which last time I fought his Execute, I missed 4 Flies in a row, but I hit the 2 that we needed to. Alakazam is Alakazam, so it's fast and hits like a truck, but he can't take any hits, so I just bite him, and it goes pretty easy. Next is his Arcanine, and Arcanine's weak to everything that we have, so One fell surf or earthquake that I felt like using. I didn't know. I can't remember which one I used. Wrote it in my notes. I just don't know where my notes are. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we hit it with 2 surfs and get the victory. And so yeah, we beat Pokemon Fire Red with the team of only Brock's rock types. So yeah, that was a really fun run. It was easier than the Dunsparce run and probably a whole lot more saner than the Cricket run. But overall, it was a good run. But next Friday's run, it's going to be a real fun one. I challenged Bryce to use one of his favorite Pokemons in Gen 4. So he's using a Lopunny in Pokemon Heart Gold. So it's going to be fun to watch him play that game and see how well he can do that after. And then after the Lopunny run, that completes our first set of Pokemon challenges. If you guys have any Pokemon recommendations or challenges that you would like to see, please leave them in the comments below. And then, just feel free to give us any shoutouts and subscribe and like for more. So if you guys want to see more, we'll be here. So have a good one.